What's up, YouTube? My name is Uncle Smokey, and this is Uncle Smokey Stock Trades. Before I start this video, I would like to say I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So please take what I say with a grain of salt and do your own DD. Today we're going to talk about ticker symbol MMAT, Meta Materials Inc. We're going to break down the TA, we're going to look at the options chain, we're going to go through Ortex, we're going to look at Fintel, and some news. We got some pretty good news today, and of course at the end of the video, my prediction. So, before we start breaking down the TA, I want to show you the 5-minute chart first. So, what I have drawn up for you today is the Fibonacci retracement. And what I'm doing today is showing you that a gap fill is going to almost always happen when you have unsustainable parabolic movements. So, you'll notice that after the halt that happened this morning, because due to SEC regulations for a major news break like that, there's going to be a halt to allow for fair trading. Once the news broke, it shot straight up, and then you noticed it started coming down dramatically. So the Fibonacci retracement shows from the top point of where it hit, and you'll notice that's $3.80 on the nose, okay? And it shows where it came all the way down to, which was almost exactly where we closed last night at $3.11, not $3.10. So the news that broke was, yes, good news for us, but it created a parabolic movement that couldn't be sustained. So the stock had to correct. And unfortunately, correction does come shorts. So the other thing I want to point out while we're here on this chart is you'll notice once it did make its bounce at $3.11, it consolidated in an upwards trend all day. And yes, I do know, I see we're making big moves in the after hours, but take that with a grain of salt. Again, the pre-market this morning shows why you do that. So we're going to continue to move on. We're going to go to the 1-minute chart. And forgive me, I do have to pull it back a little bit because my charts do move as the stock moves. Now, I did bring the Fibonacci retracement up on this chart as well, and the main reason why I did that is I wanted to show you that my lines of support and resistance are extremely, extremely relevant. And you can see that by this retracement. So, 380 is a line that we drew a long time ago, and we've drawn every one of these lines that is either touching or close to the retracement line over the course of the last couple of weeks. So it shows that support and resistance in a stock is extremely important. So, for instance, touch 380, it came down, and now look here. It barely broke through the 50% mark, bounced, came down, touched the 38 mark, came back up, tested that, but look at where it's testing. It's testing at our middle lines, our other set of support and resistance, okay? And it did that all the way through until it finally came down to the bottom, and then again, testing our support and resistance lines and the Fibonacci retracement a couple of times and consolidating through the day. Now, the TA is going to show that we opened at 347, we had a high of 358, a low of 311 where we bounced, and closed at $3.15. That is up 1.5% on the day. Now, we also had about 27 million in volume. And the one thing you'll notice is that volume basically came between 9:30 right here and here at the bounce. The rest of this is basically small volume. A couple of candles showing 100 or 200,000 in volume, but the rest of them staying dramatically lower than that. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you with the TA today. Now, I do also want to say that we were trading with the overall market. In fact, we'll go ahead and look at Finviz now. Right there. Everything's basically green with the exception of right over in here. So we did trade with the market and overall with our sector. Not so much with AMD, but with our sector, I guess. I'm not going to concentrate on this too much. Alright, so this pushes us over to Thinkorswim. We're going to look at the options chain. Now, what I really want to look at here today is the fact that, of course, our news we're going to talk about later, it stated that the acquisition's actually not going to partake or happen until about October, I believe. So that's why I had the October calls up. You're going to notice that a lot of the volatility moved into this particular monthly, and that's October. And that's mainly because that's when it's going to happen. You're also going to see some volatility in January as well. Right down in here. Now, with that being said, let's concentrate on the nitty-gritty. Calls, 15,691. Puts, 2,260. For a total of 17,951. That's like, we're back up to that 95-5 ratio again. I mean, wow. And our volatility, our implied volatility, barely moved. Now, I promise you during the day earlier today, it was probably up there a lot higher, and then came down after the stock bottomed out. Of course, that's how it moves. But at the end of the day, we didn't really move, but we did go up in the stock price. So that shows again that we're holding a good implied volatility. It keeps the stock desirable. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on over to Ortex. Take just 1 second here. Alright, so we'll notice that there's no sector as of yet through Ortex, of course, right? Not quite updated. I'm not going to concentrate on a lot of Ortex for a little while, just because I don't think they're quite up to date. I haven't even really looked at this yet. Failures to deliver, that's of course not changed. Security lending volume, that gives us a little bit of gauge. Okay, so the utilization did come down a little bit today. I don't know how that's possible. We definitely saw some shorting. This is supposedly T2, and again, even if it was live, I don't know how this is possible. There was a lot of red in the market these last few days, so I really don't think any of these numbers are all that correct, and I'm not going to concentrate on them. The one thing I want to let you know is the utilization is high. This is a gauge stating how much is available for the shorts to be able to get off of the loaners, off of the brokerages to short into the stock. Don't think that this is like the overall float, what's available. That's not what that is. It's what's available to be borrowed to short into the stock, okay? So, done looking at Ortex. Let's get out of here. Let's move straight into Fintel. We all love Fintel. Today I want to start with the buyers and the sellers. Sellers, there were 0 sellers today, but we did have a couple of big institutional buyers. So we've got the Rumblin Advisors Group and the Grant Gross Mendelson LLC. Both of these guys bought shares, and both of them bought quite a few. These are both significant positions. Now, when they're buying shares, that shows that it's a very bullish signal for us. They're not buying a put or a call that they're going to let go of in a short amount of time or any set amount of time. This is a situation where they have the opportunity to hold on to something that they know is going to increase in value over a length of period of time. I would consider them more holders, okay? Long term. Not going to concentrate on that too much. Let's move into the short interest, short squeeze information. Alright, so again, I'm going to scroll through this slowly so everybody can kind of keep up. This isn't going to change until we see the next set of data. However, this days to covered changes intraday. So it did come down a little bit from yesterday. Nothing to fret about, no big deal. This came down as well, 48% out of 100 for a short squeeze score. And again, we're not looking for the short squeeze per se. Yes, we want to see shorts cover. But a squeeze implies a volatility spike and drop. We want to see organic, sustainable growth. If shorts have to cover and create some of that growth, so be it. Alright, so again, on a leading prime broker, there is currently 1 million shares available. Let's go ahead and hit refresh, see if that changed. Nope. 1 million shares available to be borrowed to short into the stock, into the market. Now, this is what happened throughout the day. It went down and came back up. So it shows a borrow and return. But if this was today's numbers, this alone proves Ortex wrong, right? I would suppose. Short sale transactions. I'm starting to like this. This really enlightens some things. So we got today's information, or I'm sorry, yesterday's information, not today's information. Let's see if today's information came in. Nope, not yet. So we got yesterday's information. I, of course, did go ahead and put it on my spreadsheet. Here it is. Right down here. 382,523 shares shorted into the market yesterday at a grand total of $1,292,000. $1,200,922, sorry. Now, the other thing I did was I counted the transactions today. So you'll notice that if we go all the way to the top and look at this number's transactions, 56, 71. Again, there's no August 2nd data, 87, and then today at 113 transactions. They're trying harder and harder, progressively, every single day to short this stock down. They know they're losing, so they're doing what they can to get it as low as they can. Now, always remember this, and I always keep this thought in the back of my mind. A short position doesn't lose until we win. So the key to winning, and again, not financial advice, and only do this if you are capable of, is to buy, hold, and buy some more. That's the only way you can win in this situation, because you want retail to own the vast majority of the float. Once we own the float, the shorts have nowhere to run. They have to buy the stock from us. That is the general theory in this entire situation that we have with all of these shorts. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and keep pushing on, and we're going to move into the news of the day. Alright, so we're going to start with the small news, and we're going to work our way up to some tinfoil hat stuff. Alright, here we go. Small news. Again, we're hiring. We do this a lot, and that's a great thing. That means we're expanding. Anytime a company needs to hire new bodies to fill positions, that means they're growing internally. And internal growth eventually shows external growth. It shows that they are in need of people to keep pushing the business forward. And we always want that. We want to keep moving forward. All right, moving on past that. The big meta news of the day. Meta announces agreement to acquire Nanotech Security Corp for Canadian $90.8 million. I'm going to look at the article real quick. I read through it real fast this morning. I listened to the call. I'm going to let Sterling and Terry go through this. Mainly Sterling, he does really good with their whole tech and breaking down this end of the company. And I'm going to leave that to him. I'm not going to try and do that for you guys. But the main thing I want to concentrate on is showing you that just because we had all of this really, really good news today, it doesn't mean that it's going to create this gigantic catalyst to make the stock fly to the stratosphere. And we don't want that anyway. I'm very happy to see that we're gobbling up companies to create a better company for ourselves overall. This makes me very happy. It makes me even more bullish than I was before. But again, I'm not going to put all of my eggs in this basket thinking that this is going to be what takes us to the moon. Okay? So, with that being said, slip on your tinfoil hat. Here it comes. George's big tweet right after the meeting ended. A black hole is a region of space-time where gravity is so strong that nothing, no particles or even electromagnetic radiation such as light, can escape from it. In other news, here's a great initiative into #dark pools. Now, I want to stress that I do firmly believe that the quiet period is still in existence. And the reason why I say that is if you listen to the conference call that happened today, he never once mentioned anything about Torch, shorts, or anything with the previous acquisition. He kept his mouth shut. You'll also notice that there was no talk of anything financials with the exception of at the beginning of the call, he had mentioned that they would have the $150 million in free cash, and they never said where that came from. Now we know where it came from, but that's all they said. And that's a known topic. That's something that was covered a long time ago, and we know it. So they can get away with saying that. And George coming out with this tweet, it is cryptic at best, but it is not anything that can get him into any kind of trouble. He is just showing that there's a news article floating through space about the SEC looking at dark pools. Nothing more, nothing less. No insinuation here, guys. Wink, wink. Anywho, on to the final part of my video. And before I get there, go ahead and dig into this. This is a really good article. Read into it. Really awesome. George wouldn't put it out there if it wasn't important, right? Alright, so the final little section of my video, the part that everybody waits for. Hey, look what it's doing there in aftermarket. Kind of doing a little bit of that corrective stuff. Alright, so here's what I got for you. I think we're going to be right in this 320 to 325 range for the Open tomorrow. And if we are, so again, it's Friday tomorrow, guys. And you know how I feel about Fridays. This is when everybody likes to pull out. Most day traders don't hold their position even overnight, let alone through a weekend. Some swing traders really don't do that either. They don't hold through the weekend. So be prepared for some small sell-offs, of course, some manipulation, some shorting and things like that. So I do feel that we'll probably come out and bounce off the 310 range again, possibly coming back up, respecting this for a little while, and then shooting up. And I do think we will still probably have a green day tomorrow, even in the bearish side. I think we're going to go a little bit green. At least I'm hoping, of course. Now, if we go full bull, with the exception of George coming out with the news that they acquired Tesla, I don't think we're going to have this skyrocket mark up to 380 again tomorrow. However, if we do go full bull, I would see an immediate test of 330, pullback, maybe a slight consolidation, a test of 340, a pullback, 345, and consolidation through the day, possibly in the downward motion to end in the 340 range. That's what I see for tomorrow. Again, using support and resistance. Fibonacci retracement still being up there. You can see I utilize those lines. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. If I said anything wrong, correct me. Share it with your family, share it with your friends. That's the best way to get the word out there. Until tomorrow, peace.